Hey, this is Joel Oney at J Money in the heart of the Buckeye State, and I want to personally welcome you to today's episode of the Steel Kings podcast with my good friends Jared Ledford and Eric Olson, better known as the Steel Kings. Be sure to check out jmoneyllc.com for financing solutions for your buildings. And now let's get back to the Steel Kings podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jared, and this is Eric, and we are the Steel Kings.
What up?
Welcome you back to another podcast with us. We are so glad you are with us. We are going to get right into it today. We are sponsored by the team over at J Money. Thanks to the team over there. Joel and his team are doing a great job. If you need financing for your metal buildings, your sheds, your projects, roofing, pools, whatever it is, get with the team over at J Money. They will help you out. All right. And we are also going to give a shout out to our friends over at Cold Spring Enterprises, the creators of the VersaBend system. If you are looking for a tube bender, call the team over at VersaBend. They will be happy to help you out. Eric, brother, my best friend in the whole world, man. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I think it's day 10 or 11 for carnivore. I'm feeling healthy. I think it's day like 50 something on no rain.
Yeah, dude.
It got cloudy the other day, but there was no rain.
We got a couple raindrops at my house, but my grass is in need of some water. I can tell you that for sure. It's back to being 80 degrees. Like, it's supposed to be high of 84 today, which is like weird for September. We got this like really brief like Indian summer, I guess, or I don't really know what they call it. It's like when it gets cool in the summertime, but then all of a sudden we've got this like fall heat, which is just like a super big bummer. Because like when you're starting to want to get your hoodies out and you're starting to want to go to pumpkin patches and all this crap, you end up throwing the shorts back on, dude. It's hotter than crap outside, man.
Sure, it sure is.
Bummed out about that. But I can tell you, dude, so this is a little bit different, right? So just to give you, we try to give peeks behind the curtain. So you're going to hear this episode the following Monday after Shed Expo. So we're going to try to give you our best guess as to how much fun we're going to have at Shed Expo. So hopefully we've seen several of you. Hopefully we've said hello and met some friendly faces at the Shed Expo. But we all hung out, and we're going to hang out in Knoxville at the Shed Expo. So when you guys hear this, it'll be the following week. But for us, it's coming up next week. So, bro, what are we going to get into at Shed Expo? Let's actually do it like this. Let's guess, and then we'll do a follow-up episode to see how close we were. How's that?
Okay. I'm going Sunday night.
Yep.
With Heather. So Heather and I are going to go, and then we're at the Shed Cell Summit on Monday all day. So I'm going there. I believe I'm going to have a blast making B-roll film on Monday morning for an hour or two. Then we've got meet and greets. I'm going to be tailing Shannon probably and his wife. And Peter is the guy in charge of the Shed Sale Summit. Yep. I'm just assuming we're gonna have good times, laughs, etc., etc. I'm assuming Deanna and Heather are gonna like each other, and they'll probably go hang out. I'm open, man. I know like doing new things is kind of scary, but man, I'm looking forward to Monday. Monday should be a success. Tuesday is the rent to own portion. I believe we're just gonna take like we're gonna go do stuff in Knoxville and not do anything shed related. And then, so like, are you coming Tuesday or Wednesday?
I'm going to come down Tuesday. So
okay.
I'm on the park board in city council where I live in Brookville, and I have a chamber of commerce meeting Tuesday morning. So I'm going to come up to the U where I'm at, and I'm going to work with the team on Tuesday, get them prepped for a few days without me. And then I'm going to head to Brookville to jump into chamber stuff, spend some time there before I have to head out. And I am going to drive south and pick up our friend Jeff, and I will be kind of shooting B-roll and getting some time with Jeff. So Jeff obviously is the owner and founder of Shed Hub, and we love the guys over there. The team at Shed Hub is great. But I can tell you, man, I'm really looking forward to spending some time with him because he helps us out with our SEO and does a lot of stuff for Dayton Barnes. So I'm looking forward to spending time with him. He and I don't get to spend nearly enough time together. So I'll get 6 hours in the car with the guy and 6 hours in the car
The
back. And
myth.
we're going to share an Airbnb not too far from the convention center. So we'll be, we'll get to spend some time together. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the potential of seeing friends that I haven't seen in a while. I'm excited for the potential of meeting new friends and people. And hopefully you're hearing this and you're thinking, man, I met the Steel Kings at the Shed Expo and they were awesome. And if they weren't awesome, send us a comment. We'll fix it. Because I can tell you, we want to make sure that we're meeting and saying hi to everybody, right?
I got some people in my mind I want to see and hug and talk to and put a face with a name. And more importantly, I'm excited to spend time with you and Jeff and Shannon. You and Jeff specifically. Would love to do dinner on Tuesday, see what's going on. I think we'll figure something out. But super excited to spend time in the Shed Geek Marketing booth and represent the Steel Kings and maybe Dayton Barnes incognito, but
Yeah, we'll fly under the radar. We'll fly under the radar.
I might bring another polo. You never know.
Yeah, we're always trying to.
Today I got my Five Rivers on.
That's good, man. We're finally getting around. I think you guys will see us and had seen us. So when you hear this, like I said, you would have already seen us at Shed Expo. Hopefully we'll have our Steel Kings podcast merch. I got to pick up Eric's. Mine got delayed, so I'm actually dropping that stuff off tomorrow. So, the days get convoluted when you're listening to a podcast that's pre-recorded. So Eric and I try to keep the content as close as possible to real time. With Shannon and his team, they like to edit our footage and make sure that we're good to go. So we usually shoot at least a couple weeks in advance. But with Shed Expo and everything, we have the Shed Expo next week, which, again, you're going to get this the week following. We also have the Roll Forming trade show coming up in October, which is exciting because our friends from Shield Wall are putting that on. We had Gary on a couple weeks ago on the podcast, had a great conversation with him. He really sees things the way we do. Last week, you got to hear from Darren over at Stormore Portable Buildings, First Choice Metals. Those guys are doing some revolutionary things in our industry. And again, if we can all get in one accord and really just agree that the race to the bottom has to be challenged. And the only way that will be challenged is from within. We have to look inside of ourselves to say, we sell a premium product, we're going to charge a premium price for it. If everybody races to the bottom, everybody loses, everybody makes less money. So I think that's just something to keep in mind, looking back at those previous conversations. But bro, I wanted to talk about the last couple of weeks. We've seen strong increase on our SEO. We've seen a strong increase on our website. We're starting to see some really fun stuff coming our way. And, I think we want to challenge everybody out there a little bit to maybe take a look at what they're doing going into the cold months. What are you seeing, bro? I mean, you're on it more than me. You're on it all the time.
I had redone, like sales-wise, I redid my marketplace, and they changed their policy on renewing in delete relists. Just heads up if you guys are doing that. Make sure you stay up to date. A good place to follow that is the Facebook Meta Facebook page with updates. They have a specific page for updates. So I went ahead and redid it. They are now renewing on a different. It is weekly, but the delete and relist ends at some point. So you've got to have some ready to go. I'm getting messages left and right. The economy seems. We got a rate cut tomorrow. I mean, we didn't even talk about that in the pre. I believe we're losing at least 1/4 or 0.5% tomorrow, which should create optimism. Honestly,
tomorrow, September the 17th.
Tomorrow, September the 17th. We'll probably confirm that on our next episode. But I feel good. We're getting. You guys know what I've been up to. If you've been listening to every episode, I'm conquesting our website, and I am super pleased with what's happening. People are going back to Google. They're going back to they're not going back to. They're utilizing AI, Grok, and ChatGPT to find businesses to buy stuff from rather than Facebook advertising. And so I'm not saying it's a thing of the past, but
I think it's time. I think it's time to maybe throw that out there.
Yeah.
So if you are strictly selling your metal buildings or pole barns or sheds, if you're strictly selling in Meta's platform for free through Facebook Marketplace, you really strongly need to consider what you're doing. If you really want to take the next step or continue to advance your platform or your presence, you really need to start to pivot. I can't stress that enough. And again, we're giving you the tips that other people aren't super comfortable giving you. Because again, if you compete in the space that I'm in, that makes us competitors. But I would argue that if you're in the same space as me and we're doing a like job, that all rising tides raises all boats. I really feel that way. I think that right now, specifically in the steel industry, we're seeing a transitional moment.
Today, we have something truly groundbreaking to discuss. The Zula from Mobino Solar Solutions. This incredible shed ventilation system is set to redefine how we approach air circulation and energy efficiency. A shed ventilation marvel. With 3 robust fans generating 630 CFM, 2 fans usher in a breath of fresh air, while 1 strategically expels staleness. What's groundbreaking? It's solar powered. Harnessing the sun's energy, the Zula is a sustainable dream eliminating electricity cost. Sleek, powerful, and eco-friendly, this system is a game changer for those seeking efficient air circulation without compromising on green values. Visit Mobino's site for more of this innovative solar shed ventilation solution and use the Shed Geek 10 for an extra 10% discount. Just visit www.mobinosolar.com.
I talked to, several different manufacturing owners, several different high-level individuals in that field, probably monthly, I'd say at this point. We're worried about steel tariffs earlier in the year. We were starting to worry a little bit about, zoning and permitting and blueprints. I think that stuff going into 2026 is going to become uber important. So working with the right manufacturers, those companies out there that are doing it the right way. Darren, we talked to Darren last week and you guys heard him. He is going headfirst into the metal building space. And he said point blank, why would we not be offering a permitting package? Hey, for $500, we'll take care of the permit for you. If you're a dealer, does that not sound like awesome to you? And there are manufacturers out there, one of which I want to give a shout out to is Carolina Carports. We do a fair amount of business with Carolina Carports. The team over there is just remarkably well put together. We work with Tim and some of the guys there in the sales team.
Seasoned team.
When you've been around for 25
years,
no
turnover.
When you're an OG metal building and carport company like Carolina, you can really name your price. They had been running a discount for a long time. And they took that discount away when the tariffs started to become pressing. And I'd imagine going into 26, they'll probably bring that discount back or some form of a discount. But I can tell you, they offer permitting packages specifically in Florida. And I can tell you, they've gotten almost all of our business in Florida because of it, because they help us. They're right there. They want to help you close buildings. And I can tell you from our perspective, it took us a while to get in there. They don't just take dealers either. You can't just sign up to sell for Carolina Carports. You got to know it. And I like that. I like that validation process. I like that manufacturers are getting picky, and not that, if you're an individual and you're selling metal buildings, again, I wish you all the best. I hope you're doing well. But be doing it the right way, man. I cannot stress it enough. It doesn't take but 1 or 2 customers that can just ruin your trajectory.
The guy that I was talking to this morning from Missouri is getting a 30 by 40 by 12, and I had to overcome. I live in Ohio. That was easy to combat since Better Business Bureau and my Facebook profile ratings. He said the other company was local. I said I got a quote from him 2 weeks ago. I tried to call him yesterday, Monday, and their phone was disconnected. He got the heebie-jeebies. So he's like,
yeesh.
And so he didn't take his money, but I'm assuming, I kind of told him the warning of it's not, and we said this, dude. We said this earlier this year. I believe that these quick startup ones, they're not going to happen that much anymore. It's going to go right. It's going to go. There's going to be a flip this winter time. There's people that worked for us last year that was banging buildings out. They're not selling buildings this year. Yeah. They're just not. I know they're not. I know that what happened. Like, there's a great scattering that's taken place. Everybody's going back to websites. Everyone's going back to leads on a website. In my personal opinion, that's the direction we're going. And so if you're not buttoned up and doing it right, people will not buy from you. It is now year 7 of selling metal buildings. People now know the game. The customers are now knowing the game.
We can't continue to go down a rabbit hole and not see results. And I think that companies like Meta are getting wise to people actually trying to run full-scale retail businesses through Marketplace. That's not what it's designed to be. And I hate to say this to you, but if you're repping your business through Facebook Marketplace, you're in violation of their policy. When you list a building, it has to be listed from your personal account, listed in a way that has no references to your personal business. We've had reps. I'm going to tell you, we've had reps in this shop get you restricted on Facebook Marketplace and on Facebook completely because they broke policies. And if you're struggling through Meta right now, Meta is not a retail space. It's not a retail environment. It's not meant to be set up that way. Now, if you're going to list a handful of buildings in your neighborhoods or across the country, if you're doing it the right way, great. If you're selling buildings, even better. But I can tell you, if you're not transitioning in a way that is leading towards like organic SEO or just a fully functioning website, you can get a website put together in an afternoon if you have the patience for it. And I think that for somebody like me who has watched, we went from a very basic WordPress website years ago. Then we upgraded to a different WordPress. We've gone through 3 or 4 different iterations of the website. I can tell you, if you hit it and you hit it right, it will produce for you. That's what we're seeing right now. And it took a long time for us to really come to that realization. Running targeted marketing campaigns through Meta, this is different. So you have Marketplace, which is meant to be a personal storefront, and you have Meta Business Platform or Meta Business Suite, where you can advertise your business. That's where you're spending money. And what Eric and I figured out over time, and it didn't really take long, is that the price just kept going up and the result count just kept coming down. And then over time, what happened is we'd spend more money, we'd make less money, and the quality of the leads started to go down. That's when things really started to get bothersome. You can probably touch on it better than me, Eric. You've been doing this longer than me.
The amount of people who you might be okay. So there's multi reason on that type of deal. So I think it's probably best to explain if a person Googles something, they are actually wanting the thing.
Yep.
Like if you're Googling it and then they click on you, they're going to your website on purpose. So 100% of the time, people on your website are on your website on purpose, sorting through maybe a design or maybe price, do they finance, what's their coverage area, where they're questing something metal building related. When you're paying, when 20 companies are fighting for the same FaceTime as a person who basically liked the post, maybe they weren't even really necessarily wanting to buy metal building. You're getting these messages pop up on your phone. It's like, hey, a lot of times people have Facebook settings where if they're on your Facebook page for a minute, a message will pop up.
Yeah.
That's not a lead. That just means someone was looking. So I believe when 20 companies are fighting for the same $3 or $10, and at this point probably $10 to $15 message, and you get 30 of those, are you really going to risk spending $500 to get 30 messages where you might only quote 20 of them and 5 of them are even talking back with you, and then you might sell 1, and you do that for a whole week, that's $2,500. If you don't sell 1 building in that week, you've lost your money. And so I believe when we started, we were one of the few, and it was easier because the people weren't exhausted from seeing metal building message campaigns. Now they're exhausted.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about the way the trajectory of everything works, right? So, word of mouth, trading post, this is 100 years ago, right? Word of mouth, trading post, general store gives way to the influx of radio. Advertising becomes part of what you hear on the radio. Radio gives way to television. Television eventually gives way to the internet. And all along the way, you have things like broadcast, radio, and television. And advertising became a fixated part of our culture. So now with internet, you have to figure it's going to go in waves. And I think we had this moment in time where everybody and their brother was on Facebook. Facebook was, the king of social media. Not that it's not now. I mean, everybody has Facebook, it seems. Meta and Facebook are super popular. But what I can tell you from an overlook perspective, someone who is not social media, I am not on social media. I mean, I only have social media because of the business. What I can tell you is that X and TikTok
X
and
is it.
ChatGPT, all of these new and ChatGPT is a social media platform, whether you think it is or not. ChatGPT is a social media impacting device that the likes of which we've never seen in this country. I think that there are so many tools out there now to where used to be you could run an ad on Facebook. Let's say it's 2020, pre-COVID 2020, and you're on Facebook. Man, Eric's right. I mean, Eric was one of the kind of a pioneer, I would say. I mean, certainly from a dealer perspective, doing things with Idea Room, doing things with a configured website. Eric's told me a bunch of times, if Eric would have had the bandwidth in 2020, we'd be the biggest metal building dealer in the United States. But we didn't. We were a team. We were a makeshift team put together in one shed lot in Heber Heights, servicing $10 million in metal building sales. I mean, that's a crazy number now. We have a fully fledging business that does $10 million a year, but it's clean, it's neat, it's organized, it's put together. It can have relationships. It builds things. That's the reason Five Rivers exists. You guys have watched us through the process this year as we've created this business selling pole barns. And boy, what a testament to Eric's hard work and discipline that's been, because Five Rivers is now putting buildings up. Not only are we selling the process, but we're in charge of putting them up. And we've seen our projects come to life. And I can tell you, those projects have so much more art. They have our whole soul and heart in.
I like them.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome because we own the whole process. So now we're responsible from start to finish on projects. We don't have to ask anybody's permission. If we want to take a discount, if we want to charge a little bit more, depending on what the situation is, we make that decision. We make that judgment call. And I can tell you that has come from laser focus and discipline of growing the business the right way. We would never have been able to do that if we weren't focused. And that's what the call to action today probably is around. The SEO value, getting yourself out there and branding yourself. We've talked about all this stuff before, but I can tell you, man, the days of selling on Facebook Marketplace, if that's all you're doing, you better have a backup plan. We did. We're still implementing the backup plan. We're going to use Facebook Marketplace. Don't get us wrong, but it becomes just one pillar of the business philosophy. If it's Meta, if it's Google, if it's organic SEO, whatever it is, you need to have pillars of your business that you focus on and that you budget for. Because Eric hit the nail on the head. If you run a $500 message campaign for 5 days in a row and don't sell a building, you are not loving your life at that point. And we've been there. Trust me.
100%.
Guilty. I remember this one time, Eric. I had just started taking over the ad set. And JW, who's been on this podcast before, JW was running things and I was kind of stepping in there. Eric had just given me the reins on a couple of things and I was still super early. But I don't take days off. Now, mind you, I take 0 days off. I took a day off. And I think I went to Kings Island or something with the kids. And I said, hey, I'm going to be unavailable for like 4 or 5 hours. I have a couple issues I'm going to take care of when I get there, but I'm going to be unavailable for 4 or 5 hours. I'm going to get in the swimming pool. I'm going to get in the lazy river and just float for a while. And like, dude, our ads, JW, for whatever reason, didn't turn them off. Do you remember that? Dude, Eric was red, like red. Dude, Eric was hot because, dude, Facebook spent us into we spent like $2,800 in one day.
Oh,
In one day. And dude, I mean, that's the kind of stuff like you can say
it's an instant satisfaction. You know that I can spend $100 and I'll get somewhat. It keeps you so short-minded though, because there's no sustainability, because if you don't turn it on, you don't get leads. If you don't spend money, you don't get. We are at the point where we have a humming website. I would put it in the top 10 websites. We're not going to share our secret sauce, but we probably have the strongest SEO in metal buildings, pretty close, probably top 5, I would say, at this moment. I've got a vision that is in my mind to get us into the top couple, meaning top search results, and those produce leads at 2 a.m. when you're sleeping, and you don't have to buy them. They just show up. They show up. They show up. It's almost like you have a store that as you're walking down the Magnificent Mile, Michigan Avenue in Chicago, and you walk past the store, and the glass, you look through the glass. Back in the day, when you couldn't look on websites and stuff, and you just saw a store, you had to base your decision on whether you wanted to go in or not by what they displayed. You know, some companies would put like a Ferrari in the glass, you know, like try to lure them in, because they know if they can get them inside the thing, they can get them inside. Now you got all this. And so we're creating that environment where when people walk past, they want to know, because of all the places we are, all the things that we offer. We're making ourselves with Facebook. It's like the lights are off. The door says, don't come in. There's no advertisements. When you don't have the ads on, you might as well just board that freaking store up.
Well, there's a couple things, right? If you're working with a marketing team, if you're working with a meta marketing pro, if you're talking to them on the phone, so now you've graduated from marketplace. Let's say you're in Meta Business Suite, you've got a business, you're starting it, whether you're selling sheds, metal build, you can be anything, you can be selling anything. You're on Meta Business Suite. The second you talk to a meta professional, they're going to tell you have to leave your ads on all the time to produce. That's great.
Oh no.
Sam, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine, Lisa. I was just trying to get a screwdriver and all this other stuff fell down. I'm ready to go buy a shed so we can have some space in this garage again.
I agree. I keep looking at the shed Mr. Jenkins bought. Let's ask him where I got his.
Howdy, neighbor. We're wondering, how do you like your shed?
I love it. It's exactly what I needed, and I couldn't have asked for a better service.
And where did you get it?
I can't remember, but let me check. Something this nice will probably have the builder's name on it somewhere. No, I'm sorry. I can't find a name anywhere.
Well, we finally got a shed.
Yes, I just hope we're happy. The thing is a lot more shoddy than I expected, and I'm sure I told them I wanted a window, but they didn't have it in the paperwork, so I couldn't argue. Boy, is this a lousy shed. We haven't even had it 2 years, have we?
Barely. It was just a bad deal all the way around. Mr. Jenkins told me the other day that he likes his shed so much he wants to get a second one, but he still can't remember where he got it.
Your product is your best advertising. At Identigrow, we provide nameplates that ensure your quality products are never forgotten. Identify your products, grow your business. For more information, visit identigrow.com.
We like message campaigns. Our business has been built around a message campaign. The problem with running message campaigns 24/7, 365 is you'll get messages at 11 o'clock.
Nobody
midnight.
said, yeah, there's nobody to work them.
And unless you've got somebody who is never sleeps, which we're lucky enough to have somebody who is on it, but not on it like that. Not on it 24/7. I mean, me and Eric at times have been up at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night servicing leads personally. And the days of those are done. We
Over.
don't want to do that. We have to sleep. We have to sleep to be productive the next day. But once you get into that marketing algorithm of, hey, you need to leave your ads on, now all of a sudden your ad set doesn't run for you. And like Eric said, if it's off, the doors are closed, the business is closed. With SEO, it takes a plan, it takes an investment, and it takes time. It's like planting a garden. You don't plant seeds and the next day have your harvest.
Oh, I like that analogy.
You've got to wait a season. You have to plant that seed, you have to water it, you have to give it some sunlight, you have to keep the predators away, you have to keep the enemy from approaching you, you have to keep it safe, you put up a fence, you do all the things that you do to make it successful. And at the end of the season, your yield is your harvest. And I would say that's been, for us, it's taken us about 18 months. So, I mean, to give you kind of a peek behind the curtain, if you will, we have invested heavily in our online SEO presence over the last 18 months. And now in September of 25, we're really starting to see the harvest of our hard work. It's taken time to get there. It's taken time because what you have to do, if you're like us and you're running a small business that has a fixed operations budget, you have to lower one half to bring up another. So if we were running a specific amount on Meta and all of a sudden we're not, and we're bringing that down, if you're at, let's just use a random number, $5,000. If you're spending $5,000 a month on Meta and you're spending zero on SEO and you're expecting a certain number of leads, as you lower that Meta down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, you're raising up your SEO investment by the same 2, 3, 5, whatever it is. You're going to lose leads in that leeway. You're going to have a period of time where it's very uncomfortable. And we've experienced that. I mean, I am here to tell you, I am here to help you and give you one or two people. So me and Eric are just two people. This is just our opinions. But I can tell you from our experience, there have been thin days where we have spent money and not made money. And that's what we don't want anymore. We want days where things are good, where we spend zero and make good money. And that's what SEO will help you do if you build it the right way. And I get the pushback a lot, Eric, and I want you to jump in here because you've been pushed more than me on this because I hate them. And I can say that with a passion. I hate them. Marketing companies will bleed you dry. They will chew you up and spit you out. And they will sell you on all of these fancy things. And at the end of the day, they don't accomplish much unless they're the right ones. There are ones out there that care about you, but they're very few and far between.
If you have a plumbing issue in your house, you'll call a plumber mainly because maybe it's complicated and you don't actually have the time to learn it, for a one-off thing. So it's like a one-off thing. So you use a service for it. Same with grass cutting. You can cut your own grass, but maybe you don't have the hour or whatever it takes. On marketing, it's different because in my personal opinion, you might as well learn how to do it. I mean, it's something you're going to take with you all the time. So it's not like it makes sense to pay somebody to do something for you if it's going to produce fruit. But oftentimes we almost went with a couple different marketing companies, and bro, I felt like I was they was talking to me like I was an idiot. And I'm like, I know probably as much as you. I'm trying to get you to free my time up, but really you're trying to take advantage of me not knowing much.
Yep.
And I'm not a good client for you because I'm going to ask a million questions.
Yep.
And so I fear, and I hope this doesn't rub somebody the wrong way, but like in the shed industry where people are the traditional handshake and this, then, newsflash, like if you don't use computers, like, yeah, you'll have to have a marketing company. So I'm not like bashing you for that decision, but like if you're somewhat savvy with technology, it doesn't take much to learn how to, everything's AI. You can go on literally ChatGPT and say, make me an advertisement with this building.
Yeah.
Like,
and let me say this. Let me say this about marketing companies, okay? We're making it sound bad. There are good marketing companies out there. What you have to find is one that suits your need, number one. But number
real
two,
solutions. Like Shed Geek has real solutions. There's real solutions attached to it.
I will say that we're not going to get on some platform here and hype up Shed Geek marketing. We're going to tell you that they do a good job. We struggled with a couple. So let me tell you this. The way that I look at it, and once I understood this, and I'm going to say Meta, I'm going to say Google, I'm going to say Yelp, I'm going to say anything where there's a marketing professional, you probably want to steer clear of that. And the reason I say that is because you can find the information that they want to give you on Reddit, on X, on tutorials. There's a million things you can search. But what I will tell you is their job as marketing professionals, the sales that they get are to you. When they sell you marketing, they've won. Okay. Their job is not to score you points. Their job is not to get you sales. Their job is to market for you to sell. Okay. So like your job is to close sheds, steel buildings, whatever. It's their job to close marketing. I like marketing companies that work with alongside of you that say, hey, we're not going to take $1 unless you see an increase of X. We want to know what your last 3 months were. We want to see your P&L. We'll take a loss on our end if we can't perform for you. And each individual task carries weight. So, hey, we'll put together a website for you, a couple $1,000 and we'll get that going. To me, every project needs to have an innate value, both financially and benefit to you as a business owner or an operator or whatever you're doing. So if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I got a marketing thing I want to run by you, make sure you're getting something, number one. And it shouldn't just be, hey, I'm going to post for you on Facebook, because you can do that yourself. You can do that for free. You need somebody who's going to go in and get your Google ads set up, going to get your Google products set up, going to get a dedicated Meta ad campaign. You need somebody who's going to perform tasks. And we went down that rabbit hole, just like Eric said, exactly for that reason, to free up our own time. And what we realized is that our time, being valuable like it is more valuable honed in that space. It's expensive, man. It's expensive.
It's expensive, and you've got to know people. So like why Shed Geek marketing rocks is because most people can talk to each other about how their time was, and they do a good job there because they know the industry. Companies that say people that don't know the industry, that's who you got to steer clear of. So like if somebody's been helping you, yeah, I agree.
The people that market for big Fortune 500 companies, those are not the companies that you need to be working with marketing your sheds. That's just my opinion. Work with companies that know the product. Shed Geek Marketing just happens to be one of them. There are several out there. Shannon doesn't care when we say that. This is not the Steel Kings podcast brought to you by only Shed Geek. Okay. We love the guys over at Shed Geek Marketing. Okay. We know, and and I'm going to say this on the way out. A lot of the people who are on this that are listening to this got an email from Shannon about Shed Geek Marketing. What I will say from the Steel Kings perspective is we're going to be heavily involved with things that are going on in the industry. We're going to keep our hands, our eyes, our ears. We're going to make sure that we give you the straight truth. I can tell you, I have never gotten anything but the truth from Shannon. Period. I feel like that guy has stood up, and he has been a loud voice in a silent room more times than I can count. He's given us this platform, and I can tell you, give him a call, give his team a call. He's happy to connect you. If he can't take care of it, he'll find somebody who can. the Steel Kings are going to ride hard on our podcast and ride hard for the people that listen to us and give us the time. So I can tell you, contact the team at Shed Geek Marketing if you're in the need for something, even if it's just a consultation. They're happy to talk to you. Because we've spent the last 10 minutes or so bad mouthing marketing companies, and there are a lot out there. There are a lot of people out there in this industry who have good intentions. Shed Pro, Idea Room, a lot of these companies that have 3D configurators, CRMs, check them out. Okay. I mean, give them the time, because they might be able to take your business to another level. And I think that we're looking at this moment right now in this industry, sheds, metal buildings, portable buildings, whatever. This is a penultimate kind of moment. Things are changing. I can feel it. And Eric and I have our finger on the pulse more often than not anymore. I mean, knock on wood, we've not missed the boat too many times. We can feel it. I feel the shift.
Oh yeah. And I would not call us web masters by any means, but if you're interested in what we're up to and you want to wrap on the phone, I'm more than willing to consult and chat with and take a look at what's under your hood.
We are an open book, and I'm hoping as we come back from Shed Expo. So this episode again is going to be the week following Shed Expo. I hope that we've met many of you, had good times, met new friends, saw old friends, and we're going out of it with a complete focus on the rest of this year in 2026. So I think I'm going to put a pin in it, man. This has been a good one, bro. We need to have more discussions like this that are blunt and frank, and we need to be upfront, because that's what we want to be. We expect people to be like that with us. Bro, you got anything on the way out, man?
I will be at, it's after, but I'm looking forward to recapping with people who came to the Shed Sales Summit. I will be one of the panelists on the platform. So I'm looking forward to discussing the do's and don'ts in marketing, what works, what doesn't work, what used to work, what's going to work, etc. Yep. And so if you're listening and you saw me, I'm appreciative that you came and drop us a line. Our emails are below our tags there, eric@steelkings.com, if you want to get together.
Yep. I will leave you guys with this, as I always do. Get out in your communities and do something.
Please.
We lost a big voice this past week with Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I just want to say I'm at a loss for words now. It's hard for me to even say or talk about it, because it always is terrible when someone gets killed. But when someone has a voice like Charlie did, whether you agree or disagree with the guy, no one deserves to be killed. No one deserves to be hurt. Violence is something that should never happen. Again, agree or disagree, doesn't much matter to me. From the Steel Kings out to everybody, if you felt that, we felt that. We were on the call together when we heard about it, and Eric and I were shook. So I can tell you, get out in your communities. If you really were a big fan of Charlie Kirk's, that's what he'd want you to do. He'd want you to pick it up and move, get involved in your church, get involved in your community, do something special for somebody else. It'll make you feel good. I promise you.
It won't make you feel worse.
When you do something for somebody else, you will feel better for doing it. Okay? I'm telling you, there's nothing better than making somebody else feel good. I'm Jared. He's Eric. We are the Steel Kings. Check us out next week on another episode. Check out our friends at Cold Spring Enterprises for the VersaBin.
Let's
Check
go.
out Joel and his team at J Money for all your financing needs. Shannon's on Monday. We're on Monday. Shannon's on Wednesday. And we will be back at you with another episode of the Steel Kings podcast.
We need some rain. We need some Elijah prayers for rain. We need rain.
Yep. Later on, guys. Peace out.
Before you go, the J Money team wants to thank you for listening to today's Steel Kings podcast. Remember, money is king, and if you need a financing option on your portable wood sheds or steel buildings, we are here to help. Just check us out at jmoneyllc.com for more information. And don't forget to catch the next episode of the Steel Kings podcast, and have a great day.